And I gotta say, this movie is very energetic for a movie that's really dialogue driven. This movie has a lot of charm, a lot of energy, and really fast paced. Alright, y'all, so in a very rare occurrence, I finally got to see an early screener. Fuck yeah, take that, Darnell. That's an inside thing, man. Anyway, so yeah, just got done watching Air, directed by Ben Affleck, and starring Matt Damon, Chris Tucker, Marlon Wayans, Jason Bateman, Viola Davis as Mrs. Jordan, and Michael Jordan himself, who you see in the movie, but you don't see in the movie because they never show his face. So if you're going to this movie expecting to see Michael Jordan, you're not going to get Michael Jordan. Like, you're going to get Michael Jordan, but not Michael Jordan, if that makes sense. So they show a lot of archive footage of the real man, but when, as far as the actor, they just show him from behind, sides, silhouettes. Sometimes you see from the nose to the jaw, but other than that, you don't see his face. So if you're coming to this expecting Michael Jordan, you're not really going to get that. But anyways, Air is that type of movie that I love because not only do I love a good underdog story, but I love true stories about when you take a gamble, you take a risk, and you roll the dice and you fucking go for it. You take the opportunity, you seize it, you go for it, and you get it. I love a good story like that. Kind of puts me in the mind of Badass with Mario Van Peebles, also the founder, even though Ray Kroc was kind of a douchebag. But I love those stories of building a brand, right? And when nobody else believed in you, but you believed, you had a laser focused vision and you did it. So I already kind of knew the story about how Michael Jordan signed to Nike because at first he was going to sign with Converse. And then Converse was, they had the same shoe, but for every athlete, but the shoe was like a different color. So he was going to be part of the Bird, Magic, Isaiah Thomas, Bernard King, and Dr. J. So he was going to be part of that crew, but Nike said, no, we're going to build a shoe around you, specifically for you, your name, your brand. You're not sharing this with anybody else. It's yours. But it's a hard sell because Michael Jordan's mama, Mrs. Jordan, played by Viola Davis, does not play the radio. She's tough, and she's going to make sure her son gets the best deal. So this whole movie basically is Matt Damon, who is an athletic scout for Nike. They have to find a player that they can sign to their basketball division because they already have, because at the time Nike was just a running shoe for jogging, you know what I mean? And they need a basketball player to sell this, so they have like a whole list of names, and Matt Damon's like, no, we need that guy. We need Michael Jordan. And they're like, you're crazy. We're not going to get him. And that's basically the movie, them trying to get Jordan to sign with Nike. Very simple plot, but very effective. And I gotta say, this movie is very energetic for a movie that's really dialogue driven. This movie has a lot of charm, a lot of energy, and really fast paced. And it's so funny because I'm known for falling asleep in movies, but this time I got a taste of my own medicine because there was somebody, I think there was 2 rows behind me, and they were hibernating, yo. They were snoring like a bear. I mean, when I say they was getting it in, and then the people in front of me, they started looking at me like it was me. I said, nah, motherfucker, it ain't me this time. It's the person behind me. I didn't do it. So I made sure my eyes were big to make sure, like, hey, I'm still here. That's not me. And they snored through a big chunk of it. I'm thinking to myself, how the hell you gonna fall asleep on a movie like this? Because there were so many funny moments in this movie. Like, it almost played like a comedy because it was so funny. And a lot of that came from Chris Tucker, you know what I'm saying? So the fact that this person fell asleep, I said they must have been old. I didn't want to turn around and look because I didn't want to be rude. But I was tempted on like taking some popcorn and throwing it behind me and hoping it landed in their mouth. You know what I'm saying? So they could wake the fuck up. Or they probably would have choked to death. I don't know. But anyways, Chris Tucker, to me, was a clear standout. You could tell he was having so much fun in this role. Like, he put his comedic chops, like full frontal, you know what I'm saying? Like, he put it all out there, stole every scene he was in. And the only thing I was thinking of, I said, if they would have put Kevin Hart in that same role, this shit would have been annoying because Kevin Hart kind of did what Chris Tucker did, where he just, because of his comedic profession, you know what I'm saying, that they command every scene because they're just so quick with it with the shit. And Kevin Hart kind of does it, but Kevin Hart's like an annoying mosquito when he does it. But Chris Tucker, it worked just fine. He got the biggest laughs from the crowd. And aside from Chris Tucker, Matt Damon did a really good job here. He really sold this movie. He carried this movie. Ben Affleck also, and it's always good to see them together because I always go back to Good Will Hunting when I first saw them. So I always love the duo of Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. You're gonna get a good movie. And Jason Bateman also gave a great performance here. So all the actors in here came with their A game. They did their thing. And I have no complaints about this movie, to be honest with you. I mean, I know I'm supposed to put my critic hat and be like, well, I didn't like this, and I didn't like that. But there's nothing really I can say I didn't like about this movie. It had a dope pace. It got right to the point. And it's just an inspiring story that made you say, hey, man, if you believe in something and you want to do something, man, go for that shit. It sounds cliche, but yes, you're gonna have naysayers. You're gonna have people in your ear telling you, you're a fool, you can't do it, or there's too much competition. Don't do this instead. But the fact that Matt Damon just has like, no, this is what I want. I want this guy, and I'm not gonna stop until I get this guy, and put it all out there. And well, this is not a spoiler. We know what happened. The Air Jordans became the most popular shoe in the world. You know what I'm saying? It is still the biggest brand out there. So this movie was all about building a brand. So it's about Michael Jordan, but more about building the Jordan brand, and how before this man even stepped foot on a professional basketball court, they said that this guy's going to be the future, and we're risking it all. Yes, he could blow his knee out. He could be an NBA bust, but we believe in this guy. We're putting it all on the line, and it paid off. And it's like, fuck yeah, very inspiring story. I love movies like this, you know what I'm saying? Like, I love a good inspiring story. So anyway, with that being said, I give this movie an A. Solid A. March has been a dope month for movies, and April's off to a very good start. And that's all I can say, man. Shout out to Jordan. Oh, and also, this movie takes place in the 80s, so there's like endless 80s references, okay? They have to keep reminding you that we're in the 80s, so they have a 80s soundtrack, a lot of 80s memorabilia to let you know, like, hey, this is 1984. And also, they gave a good shout out to my boy Patrick Ewing, who was my guy growing up. I'm a Knicks fan, so I purposely avoided buying Jordans just because I was a Knicks fan. True story. I said, I don't want Jordans. I said, I want the Ewings. And that's so funny they mentioned Patrick Ewing. And Patrick Ewing got his shoe, like, about 4 years later? You know what I'm saying? 1990, they had the first Patrick Ewing shoe, with the big tongue. They had Ewing, and had the basketball logo. But anyways, yeah, A is what I got for Air. Highly recommend this movie. Check it out. It's an inspiring story. It'll make you just want to just chase your dreams and go for it. All right? So have you seen the movie? What you think about it? Comment freely below. Let me know what you thought. If you like it, dig this content, hit that like and subscribe notification bell in the corner. This is Rashad G signing out. See you in the next video.